Stop for a second and look at your life. Do you feel like everything is moving too fast? Like life is racing ahead while you're stuck in place, trying to catch up but never quite making it. You wake up, you check your phone, you scroll through endless messages, emails, notifications, and social media feeds. You rush through tasks, appointments, and obligations. Yet, by the time you collapse at night, you feel exhausted, anxious, and empty. It's like life is passing you by, and no matter what you do, you're trapped in a loop of mental chaos. You are not lazy. You are not failing. You are not broken. The truth is far more subtle and far more shocking. Your mind is keeping you stuck. Your brain is designed to protect you, to maintain patterns and routines. But in modern life, these same protective mechanisms become invisible chains that trap you in overwhelm, indecision, and stress. Now imagine if there was one simple mental shift. Yes, one that could start transforming your life in just 24 hours. By the end of this video, you'll know what it is, why it works, and how to apply it immediately. Before we dive deeper, do this. Comment below. I'm ready to change. Hit like if you've ever felt mentally stuck. Subscribe and turn on the bell to get more deep psychological insights and practical life strategies from the Mindset Revolution. Taking this small action now is your first step toward regaining control. It's symbolic but powerful. Your mind already notices when you choose to act intentionally. Feeling stuck is not about a lack of talent, effort, or intelligence. It's about how your mind has been conditioned to interpret life. Consider this. You set goals, make a plan, and work hard. Yet after a few days, you feel like you're running in circles. Your mind loves familiarity. Routines, comfort zones, even anxiety itself. These are familiar. Even when you consciously want to grow, your subconscious resists because change feels like danger. Your brain whispers, "Are you sure this will work? What if you fail? Maybe it's safer to stay the same." And slowly, quietly, your effort gets sabotaged. Modern life is engineered to overwhelm. Endless notifications pinging your brain. Social comparison at every scroll. Workload that never ends. Pressure to look successful, happy, and productive all the time. Even moments that should restore you. Scrolling social media, watching TV, or browsing the internet are mental distractions disguised as rest. This is why people feel mentally exhausted before they accomplish anything meaningful. The mind, constantly overstimulated, becomes a battlefield. Let's make this personal. Maybe you recognize yourself in one of these scenarios. First, there's Sarah. Sarah is 28, a professional climbing the corporate ladder. She works 10-hour days, exercises, reads self-help books, and networks relentlessly. Yet, every evening she collapses on her bed, mentally drained, asking herself, "Am I doing enough? Am I behind everyone else?" No matter how much she does, she feels empty. Comparison, pressure, and mental clutter are stealing her peace. Then there's Ahmed. Ahmed wants to start his own business. He has ideas, a plan, and the skills. But every time he sits down to act, a mental loop starts. What if I fail? What if I waste time? Am I capable? 3 months pass, and he hasn't launched. Motivation comes and goes, but inertia and fear keep him trapped. And finally, Maya. Maya scrolls Instagram every morning. She sees friends traveling, starting projects, getting promotions. By 10 a.m., she already feels behind, anxious, and inadequate before she even begins her own day. Sound familiar? You're not alone. Millions experience these invisible chains of modern life. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Working harder doesn't fix this. You've been told to set goals, follow through, stay motivated. But without the right mental framework, all effort is like trying to row a boat with a hole. You expend energy, but progress leaks away. The key isn't more effort. It's a subtle, powerful shift in how you think, one that rewires your mind for clarity, action, and control. So what are the subtle mental patterns that keep people stuck? First, overthinking every decision. The brain seeks safety and certainty. Overthinking feels like preparation, but it's really paralysis in disguise. Second, chasing motivation instead of discipline. Motivation is fleeting. Relying on it makes you a victim of your feelings. Real progress comes from consistent mental habits, not bursts of energy. Third is suppressing emotions. Stress, anxiety, and frustration are signals, not enemies. Ignoring them accumulates tension and confusion. And finally, dependency on external validation. You constantly compare yourself with peers, social media, or societal expectations. Validation from outside makes you reactive rather than intentional. Let's do a quick, interactive exercise. Take a moment, pause if you need to, and write this down. What thought keeps looping in your head? When did it start, and how does it make you feel physically? Go ahead and comment one thought that's been keeping you stuck. Awareness is the first step toward regaining control. At the heart of all this is fear. Fear is invisible, but powerful. The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of uncertainty. These fears convince your mind that staying in your comfort zone is safer than growth. The irony? Comfort zones slowly drain life, while fear disguises itself as protection. When you understand this, the first shift begins. Fear is not an enemy, it's a signal. We live in a world designed to fragment our attention, multitasking that reduces focus, information overload that clouds decision-making, constant social comparison that lowers self-esteem. Your brain is exhausted long before your body is. That's why mental clarity seems impossible. And why do most people never realize the mental shift they need even exists? It's because most people seek solutions outside themselves. More productivity apps, more courses or books, more motivational videos. But the real transformation happens inside the mind. It's about changing how your brain interprets reality, responds to stress, and prioritizes action. This is subtle, hard to notice, and often ignored, yet it's more powerful than any external tool. Let's do one more quick exercise. Ask yourself, what patterns in your thinking repeat every day? When you feel stuck, what is your brain telling you? Comment your answers below. Recognizing these patterns is the secret doorway to change. Now, here's the suspenseful part. This one mental shift is simple, requires no special tools, and can be applied immediately. When you use it, it can reduce mental clutter, provide clarity in decision-making, unlock momentum that feels impossible right now, and give you a real sense of control over your life. Almost no one applies it correctly, which is why they stay stuck. But once you understand it, life starts to feel lighter, decisions become easier, and you regain a sense of agency. So, let me ask you, what's the one thought that traps you the most? Which story did you relate to? Sarah, Ahmed, or Maya? And are you ready to apply this mental shift today? Like this video if you've ever felt mentally stuck, and make sure you're subscribed to the Mindset Revolution. At this point, your mind is ready for the solution. Imagine for a moment, what if there was one small adjustment in the way you think? One tiny mental shift that could start changing your entire day today. Not next month, not after years of hard work. Today, a shift so subtle that most people never notice it. But so powerful that when applied correctly, it immediately gives you clarity, control, and momentum. This isn't magic. This isn't just motivation. This is psychology working in your favor, and it's available to you right now. This transformative mental shift is simple. Stop treating your thoughts as instructions and start treating them as observations. Most people live in a constant reactive loop, believing every thought is a command. I'm not ready yet, I should wait. I'm too tired to start, I'll rest first. I'm not capable. I'll fail anyway. The problem is, reacting to every thought instantly gives your mind control over you. You become a prisoner of fleeting emotions, doubts, and fears. The shift is to observe your thoughts without immediate reaction. Treat them like data, not directives. Notice the thought, acknowledge it without judgment, and then choose your action consciously, instead of letting the thought dictate it. Why does this work so well? It's rooted in cognitive psychology. First, when you observe your thoughts, you engage what's called metacognition, the ability to think about your thinking. This creates a separation between you and your mental chatter, which reduces automatic reactions and stress. Second, this practice rewires your brain through neuroplasticity. Repeatedly observing your thoughts instead of reacting to them teaches your brain that not every thought is a command, which reduces anxiety, overthinking, and procrastination over time. And finally, observing your thoughts without judgment prevents emotional escalation. Instead of spiraling into fear or doubt, your mind stays calm, focused, and capable of clear decisions. You reclaim your agency, the ability to choose your actions intentionally. So, how do you actually implement this shift in the next 24 hours? Let's walk through it. Step 1 is morning awareness. Before you even check your phone, sit quietly for just 5 minutes. Observe your thoughts as they arise. I don't feel ready today. I have too much to do. I should just relax instead. Acknowledge each thought without judgment. Simply tell yourself, that's a thought, not a command. I want you to try this. What was the first thought your brain gave you this morning? Let me know in the comments below. Step 2 is midday observation. During the day, notice moments when you feel tension, anxiety, or overwhelm. Instead of reacting immediately, just stop and breathe. Identify the thought that's causing that feeling. Then ask yourself, is this thought helpful right now, or is it just noise? This simple question interrupts those reactive patterns and helps keep your mind calm and clear. Step 3 is evening reflection. Before bed, grab a journal and write down 3 thoughts you observed without reacting to them. How did your day feel when you didn't obey those thoughts? What positive actions did you take as a result? Over time, this small habit reinforces the shift, training your mind to respond consciously instead of reactively. Let me share a couple of real-life stories to show you this in action. Take John. He was a chronic procrastinator. He constantly thought, I'm not ready yet. By practicing this mental shift, he started observing that thought instead of obeying it. He realized the thought was just a habit, not a truth. He learned that taking small, imperfect steps was far more productive than waiting for the perfect moment. Within 24 hours of trying this, John completed a task he had been avoiding for weeks. He felt a sense of clarity and confidence he hadn't felt in months. Then there's Alina. She was extremely anxious about speaking at a big meeting. Her mind kept repeating, I'll mess up. I'm not good enough. Instead of reacting with panic, she observed the thought and told herself, that's just a thought. It doesn't control me. She went into the meeting, delivered her points calmly, and felt incredibly empowered afterward. She realized her mind often exaggerated threats. Let's try a quick interactive exercise right now. Close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths. Now, just identify the first 3 thoughts that come to mind. Don't analyze them, don't follow them. Just label them as just a thought, not an instruction. Notice how your body feels when you do this. Let me know in the comments how it felt to not obey your thoughts for just a few minutes. So, why do most people fail to apply this? The shift sounds so simple, and that's exactly why people underestimate it. Some common mistakes are trying to ignore the mind instead of observing it. Judging thoughts as good or bad, or expecting instant results without consistent practice. Remember, this is subtle, but it's powerful. The small habit of observation compounds exponentially. But the mental shift alone isn't enough. You need to couple observation with intentional action. Observe the thought, I feel scared of starting this project. Acknowledge it. That's just a thought. And then act. Take one single small step toward your goal. When you combine mind awareness with small action, momentum builds. One productive day turns into a transformative week. The psychology behind this is solid. In cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, we learn that thoughts influence emotions and behavior. By observing your thoughts, you prevent negative spirals and create new positive behavior patterns. And from a neuroscience perspective, observing your thoughts activates the prefrontal cortex, the decision-making part of your brain. This strengthens your ability to act consciously instead of reacting automatically based on habit or fear. Studies in mindfulness show that even just 10 minutes of mindful observation reduces stress, improves focus, and increases emotional resilience. Let's do one more mini exercise. Choose one small task today that you've been avoiding. First, observe the thought that's stopping you. Second, acknowledge it. It's just a thought. And third, take one concrete step toward it, no matter how tiny. Comment below and tell me what task you took action on today using this shift. I want to see you win. The real power here is the compound effect. It's not about immediate perfection, it's about compound growth. On day 1, you'll feel more clarity and get some small wins. By day 2, you'll feel less mental resistance. From day 3 onwards, momentum builds, confidence grows, and you start controlling your life instead of being controlled by it. Over time, you'll notice less overthinking, more focus, more emotional calm, and faster, more confident decision-making. Think about a student who constantly worried about exams, and their thoughts were a loop of, "I'm not ready, I'll fail. I can't concentrate." On day 1 of applying this shift, they noticed their anxious thoughts in the morning and just acknowledged them. In the afternoon, they focused on one small study session without obeying the fear. That evening, they reflected on their progress. The result? In just 24 hours, their anxiety was reduced, their focus improved, and they felt a sense of control and confidence that made studying productive again. Now, let's address some common questions. First, won't ignoring thoughts cause me to suppress them? No, because you're not ignoring them. You're observing without reacting. Suppression is pushing thoughts away. Observation is being fully aware of them, but choosing how you respond. Second, how long until I see results? You can feel small improvements within a day, but significant changes come from weeks of consistent practice. And third, what if I forget to observe my thoughts? That's totally normal. The goal isn't perfection. Just notice when you've slipped back into automatic reactions and gently start again. Your awareness will grow gradually with practice. Give this a try for just 24 hours and see what happens. The key is to start small and stay consistent. The moment you stop obeying your thoughts and start observing them, everything changes. For years, your brain has been on autopilot. Every fear, every doubt, every "I can't" has dictated your actions without you even realizing it. But the instant you decide to act despite these thoughts, something incredible happens. Your brain gets a shock. It's like flipping a switch in your mind. One small intentional act creates a wave of momentum, and that momentum compounds faster than most people can possibly imagine. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to experience that shockingly powerful shift in just 24 hours. Let's start with your morning. Your morning sets the trajectory for your entire day. Most people wake up and immediately hand over control to stress, notifications, and self-doubt. They obey the very first thought that hits them. "I'll do it later. I'm too tired. I can't handle this." The difference between feeling overwhelmed all day and feeling unstoppable is simple. You have to observe your thoughts first, then act intentionally. Here's how you do it. First, just sit in silence for 5 to 10 minutes. Close your eyes and focus on your breathing. Notice the first thoughts that pop into your head. Don't engage with them. Don't argue. Just observe them like clouds passing in the sky. Next, label those thoughts. Every thought that tells you what you can't do is not an order, it's just a suggestion. Say it out loud. This is just a thought. It does not control me. Finally, take one small, intentional action immediately. Even if it feels tiny, it has to be a conscious choice. Write one line of that report, make that one phone call, or send one important message. Do something that directly challenges the automatic command of your mind. When you act despite that first negative thought, your brain experiences a jarring surprise. It expected obedience, but you chose freedom. That surprise is what starts to rewire your neural patterns instantly. Right now, I want you to comment below with the first thought that appeared in your mind this morning and label it. Just a thought, not a command. Now, let's move to midday. By noon, the real test begins. Deadlines are looming, stress is rising, and doubts are creeping back in. Your brain will desperately try to pull you back into your old, comfortable habits. This is where most people fail, but it's where you're going to stay in control. First, notice the thoughts as they occur. Thoughts like, I can't finish this task, it's way too hard, or I'm just too tired to focus right now. Then, ask yourself a simple question. Is this thought helping me, or is it holding me back? The answer will be obvious. Then, you guessed it, take one intentional action immediately. Even one small step is enough. Write a single paragraph, make a quick phone call, or start a tiny part of the task you've been avoiding. Let me tell you about Liam. Liam wanted to start a side project, but was completely paralyzed by the thought, I'll fail, I'm not ready. He decided to try this. He observed the thought, labeled it as just a thought, and then took one small action. He sent a single email to a potential collaborator. By the end of that day, he had completed the entire project outline. The mental block that had held him back for months vanished in a matter of hours. Or Sophie, who constantly avoided a big report for work. Her recurring thought was, I can't finish it. I'll mess it up. She observed it, labeled it, and then forced herself to write just one paragraph. By that evening, the entire report was finished. Her confidence skyrocketed. So pause for a moment. What's the one thought that's stopping you from doing something productive right now? Label it and act despite it. Go ahead and comment what you did. As we get to the afternoon, your brain will try something more subtle. It's a trick it's used for years, overthinking disguised as planning. It will whisper things like, you need more time, just wait until later, or this isn't the right moment. It's lying to you. The moment you pause, observe that thought, and act anyway, that illusion completely shatters. Pick one thought that's causing you to hesitate. Label it, just a thought, not a command. And then take one bold action you've been avoiding. For example, maybe the thought is, I'm not ready to have this difficult conversation. Your action. Send the message to start it. Your brain expected you to avoid it. By acting anyway, you rewire your confidence on the spot. Now we reach the evening. This is when the 24-hour transformation truly takes hold and becomes permanent. Before you go to bed, I want you to do 3 things. First, write down 3 thoughts you observed today but didn't obey. Second, note 1 or 2 intentional actions you took despite feeling fear or doubt. And finally, reflect. How does your mind feel right now? Lighter, calmer, more focused? This reflection is crucial. It signals to your brain that observing your thoughts and then acting leads to positive results. It strengthens the neural pathways that reinforce clarity, focus, and your sense of control. Please share one reflection from your day in the comments. What changed the most for you? So why do these small wins shock your brain so effectively? Most people think that big breakthroughs require huge, monumental effort, but that's just not true. One small action combined with conscious observation creates massive momentum. When you compound that momentum over 24 hours, you get mental clarity, unshakable confidence, and a feeling of being unstoppable. When you repeat it daily, you get a life transformation. Think about Anna, who was terrified of confronting a client. Her thought was, "I'll embarrass myself and ruin everything." She observed it, acted anyway, and the conversation succeeded perfectly. Her mind was shocked. The fear she'd felt had no real power. Or Michael, who procrastinated studying for his exams for months. He observed his anxious thoughts, then sat down and wrote the first 10 pages of his notes in one sitting. By the end of the day, his study material was nearly complete. The mental clarity and calmness that followed were incredible. I want you to comment below. Which fear or thought will you challenge today? So here's how your full 24-hour challenge flows. In the morning, you observe your first thoughts and act on one small step. At midday, you notice the doubts, observe them, and act intentionally. In the afternoon, you confront hesitation and break those automatic patterns. And in the evening, you reflect, journal, and notice the mental changes. Even a single cycle of this can feel life-changing. Your brain starts following your rules, not your old fears. Every "I can't" you've obeyed in the past has stolen your energy, your focus, your confidence, and your time. But when you observe these thoughts and act anyway, that mental weight just disappears. Decisions become easier. Your focus becomes sharper. Your confidence skyrockets. Pause for a second. Think of one "I can't" you've obeyed for years. What would happen if you decided to act despite it today? The ultimate reality is that most people will never try this because it feels uncomfortable. They're held back by the fear of failure, the habit of overthinking, and the lifetime of obedience to automatic thoughts. But those who do it, even just once, experience a shockingly fast transformation. 24 hours can bring you clarity. 24 hours can bring you focus. 24 hours can bring you unstoppable momentum. This shift isn't magic. It's a psychological process backed by cognitive science. Observation and labeling your thoughts gives you freedom. Acting despite fear creates momentum. And reflection reinforces the new habit. In just one day, you can feel calmer, more confident, and completely in control. Do this consistently, and your life will begin to change faster than you ever imagined. This video is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for professional mental health advice. If you're experiencing severe anxiety or distress, please consult a licensed mental health professional. Now, for your final challenge. Comment below, which thought will you refuse to obey today? And what action will you take to shock your brain back into your control? Let's share our experiences and support each other on this journey. Thanks for watching.